I want to share with you a story from my youth ministry days. It deals with evangelism and discipleship. So when I first got into youth ministry, there was a nationally known youth worker. Her name was Lori, and she was at all the conventions on the main stage speaking. She'd written a couple of books. And if you were in youth ministry, you knew who Lori was. And so I was at a youth convention, and she's up on stage, and she's just sharing about some changes that had happened in her life. And she was a full-time youth pastor. She had a youth group, averaged about 50 kids, and her husband's job took them to another state. So she had resigned her youth ministry, and they moved to this other state. He started a new job, and she decided to approach youth ministry very differently this time around. And any church would have loved to have had her on staff, but she needed to kind of get acquainted with the new city, and they needed to find a new church. And so she thought, I'll just kind of feel this out. And they found a church, and the church had a pretty good established youth group with established youth workers and a youth pastor. And Lori said, I kind of looked around and I wanted to approach youth ministry different. And so she started to attend youth group, and she was looking at all these students, and she said, it didn't take me very long to hone in on this one particular girl. She's basically a wallflower. And Lori said, I decided right then and there that my youth group for the next couple of years was going to consist of one girl. And she said, I just started to build a relationship with this girl, and she was a freshman in high school. So for the next 4 years, the story went that Lori journeyed with this girl and just really poured into this girl. And it opened up. If you watch the last video, I talked about evangelism being based on the building block of relationships. Through that relationship, it opened up where she could evangelize to this girl. She could disciple this girl. She could journey with this girl and grow with this girl. And I kind of followed that story. And all those years later, Lori stayed in the realm of youth ministry, but instead of being a full-time youth pastor somewhere, she really just dedicated herself to this one girl. And I tell you that story kind of based on the last video I did on evangelism. It's built on relationships. And I think Lori's story proves that point. Here, Lori honed in on just one girl and journeyed with this girl and made a huge impact and difference. And this girl stayed true to her relationship with Christ. And so as pastors, we evangelize on Sunday mornings to however many people are in our sanctuary, whether that's 20 or thousands of people. But I think the best evangelism, again, is based on relationships. And maybe from Lori's story, we realize that the best evangelism and discipleship is based in small groups. And you can follow that all the way to the New Testament. And Jesus had a group of 12. And even within that 12, he had a group of 3. Hey, keep your eyes wide open for opportunities to evangelize and disciple. And I will see you next time. Love you. Bye-bye.